welcome, Cabin Fever Coffee Dates, episode 3. That's right, I said 3. I can even say it like 3. Those were not edits. That was like just me, all natural voice coming at you. Oh my goodness, it is the 3rd week and I honestly can't believe it. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've stuck with me. And this week I hooked up my handy dandy microphone. Hello, can you hear me? I'm gonna whisper. Okay, the first thing that we're gonna do today is do a segment called Candace Tries. I wanted to start with something that was kind of a quarantine trend. It's trending right now. I'm seeing so many people do it and I honestly just wanted to know how did it taste. And this is a coffee date, so it just made perfect sense that we would do this week's coffee as the subject for Candace Tries. So, I want you to sit back and watch this because this week, Candace tries making whipped coffee. All right, taste test. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've stirred it. It's all good. Made sure it's the right consistency. Let's go. Oh, wow. Okay, let me give you a little bit of reality behind that moment. Honestly, during filming, I was so scared. And you want to know why? It was because I was holding that camera so far away from a downward angle because I wasn't wearing any pants that whole time. Straight up. Woke up, went into the kitchen, underwear and a tank top, and decided to stand there and start filming my whipped coffee because I needed coffee that desperately. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do this for Candace Tries this week, so I better just get it done. I was like, Lord Jesus, if they even get a reflective surface in here, I'm dead. Somebody zooms in the wrong way. Help me, Lord. So I'm glad it came out well. And I enjoy trying stuff, so next week, let's see what else I try. All right, y'all, it's game time. And for this one, it's going to be a little bit different. What I want you to do is I want to prepare yourself. Grab your family. They're going to help. You can use teammates this week for your game. So get to a place before it even goes to game time this week to where you are prepared to be up and moving and have some help. You need some stand-in players. That's all I'm saying. Okay, here we go. Game time. What we're going to do is a scavenger hunt. And what I want you to do is just get ready. So if you're just sitting down watching this and you're like, I've got a bag of Cheetos, I'm just going to town on them, put them aside, get ready. This is a timed game this week. Here's the deal. We're going to do a quarantine scavenger hunt. I want you to find these items. I'm going to give you 10 seconds for every single item. So here we go. You ready? First thing for our quarantine. Come on, toss it. That's right. Find a hat. Find a hat. If you got a hat, I want you to find it. Here you go. You got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Done. Next item. That's right. When was the last time you traveled? What, did you get a souvenir? Well, you got 10 seconds to find a souvenir from your last trip outside of the house before the cabin fever set in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, come on. Band-Aids. Who needs some Band-Aids? You got 10 seconds. Go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Come on. Oh, a book. How many of y'all been reading? Get a book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on. How many of y'all been cozying up to a blanket here? Favorite blanket? You got it. Get it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are done. All right. Hey, commodity. Find me a roll of toilet paper. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Oh, how many of y'all got one of these? Face mask. Here we go. Find your face mask. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. All right. What else we got? Any type of ball. Doesn't matter. Go for it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Here we go. Sunglasses. Because you know what? You may have forgot where you even put them because we've been outside so long. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Come on. Lysol. I'm not even going to spray it. This is too valuable. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. All right. And a pen. This is a fancy pen. Somebody gifted me this. Here you go. Find you a pen. Writing utensil. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Oh, couldn't live without this in quarantine. Dry shampoo. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feeling good. Lost one! Oh no, hold on. Let me get it. Come on. Here we go. Hand sanitizer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. We got more. Vitamin C. Come on, y'all. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Where are we at with this one? How many of y'all been watching the movies? Get a DVD or a Blu-ray. Come on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Remote control. You know gotta be near you now. Are you out of breath? Go for it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And then this. Oh, God love it. When was the last time you used this thing? It's a blow dryer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Flashlight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. Last 2 items. Deck of cards. Can you find it? These are my gremlin cards. I love them. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, last one. Good old house spoon. Come on now, I know you got this one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I cannot wait to see how many of y'all were able to actually find all. Did anybody find all of the items in the scavenger hunt? If you did, take a picture of your pile. And listen, no cheaters. Don't go back and rewind and then find everything and then put it in a pile and be like, see, I'm so amazing. I tried to make it so fun, but also a little bit tricky. So it was definitely a speed round. So if you found the items, do a true assessment of what you found, put it in a pile, take a photo, either send it to me in a DM, post it to our private Facebook page, wherever you want to go and make that known. I want to see them so that we can all celebrate and have some fun with those this week. Game time was a blast. Today's topic is something that I really felt like was so super important to talk about when we have this proverbial pause. This topic was vital. It's about being imitators. It's about living lives of imitation. What do I mean by that? There's a couple of negatives and then there's some positives to this as well. Let's just explore this idea for a second about imitation. You know, I think a lot of us are conditioned to be good imitators. I mean, think about it from even infancy. We train our children to see what we're doing and to follow our example. Now, that's not inherently bad. As a matter of fact, that often does a lot of good. We taught our kids sign language when they were little, and we wanted to know if they wanted more to eat or more fruit snacks or more, I don't know, chicken nuggets in that toddler stage.
Are these from Chicken Express?
No.
Are these from Popeyes?
Yes, they're from Popeyes.
I love Popeyes. Thank you. I'm gonna go to New York City driving a motorcycle, and don't worry, I'm gonna bring my grandbabies home to see you.
You're gonna bring the grandbabies home to see me?
Yeah.
Okay, is that your life?
Yep.
I remember we would tell them this. We would say, more. When they weren't able to verbalize what they wanted, they were able to imitate our symbols. And so I remember we would just have our kids sitting in a high chair. And they'd be able to just tell us more just by the imitation, because they knew from imitating that symbol, they would receive something that they wanted. Now, in our culture and our society, we find ourselves now, possibly, as grown-ups, imitating because we often desire a payoff from that imitation. A lot of times we see the reward of what it does for somebody else, and so we think, oh, I'm going to adapt and adopt that action, that belief, that kind of material. I'm going to curate it well, and I'm going to use it for my own, and I'll just kind of tweak it, but I'm going to be an imitator because I want the payoff of what that's giving to that person. Whether it be more likes, more follows, more engagement, just maybe more popularity. Maybe there's aspects of somebody else that we really do admire and love, and we find ourselves wanting to imitate what they do. It's a natural human reaction from birth. However, at some points it can become detrimental to actually discovering our true identity. It can become a glass ceiling to limiting our creativity, and it can often leave us wondering if we have any value beyond what we're able to subparticle, put together, piecemeal, and push out to others. I just want to ask, how many of you know the joy and the value of being original? I mean, y'all, we're conditioned to be imitators. And I wonder how many of us have these frustrations in our lives because we're chasing after the wrong thing because it looks and fits so well on somebody else. How often, even more so for the church, do we find ourselves turning people away because they see through the imitation game? They see through our desire to look alike, not be unified. You know, there's a great quote, and I didn't come up with this, but I repeat it often. Uniformity is not the same thing as unity, and unity definitely is not the same thing as uniformity. We are not called to look like each other. As a matter of fact, when I look in the scriptures, ooh, did you hear that? That Bible page? I got my Bible open here. In Ephesians 5, verse 1, it says, "Dearly beloved children, be therefore imitators of God." You know, the ESV version says it this way: "Follow God's example, therefore, as dearly loved children, and walk in the way of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and a sacrifice to God." You realize that if we're going to be an imitator of anything or anyone, it should be following hard after God, especially if we call ourselves Christians. You know, people that are Christ followers, we should be imitating him. We should be imitating the standard that he sets. And instead, oftentimes I see us imitating one another instead. You know, just like my little kids, when they were little and I would say, hey, watch me, more. They would imitate their parent. They would imitate somebody that they could trust, that was going to give them good from their hand. And in the same way, we are people that follow God, and we should be imitators of him, just like dearly beloved children. Just like a child that sits at his table and says, I don't know about you, but I have a group of friends that I love dearly. And if we all looked and acted like each other, I think we'd get pretty bored of each other very quickly. One of my friends in this Marco Polo just said, I'm not buying it anymore, y'all. I'm not buying it that everything's as good as we're all saying that it really is. You know, we're so consumed with trying to imitate our friend that's doing really well, and they're holding it up well and got it all together, and we're like, yeah, I guess that's how I'm feeling too. Me too. I feel good about this. We're good about this. We're good. Let's do it. And nobody's giving the actual call in the wilderness saying, this stinks right now. I'm sad about this right now. And I got so sad. And I felt a little bit guilty for getting sad about it, thinking, okay, but you got to be strong. You got to have... And you know why I was feeling like I got to be strong is because everybody else around me is like, it's okay. We're going to get through this. And when we get together, I'm going to give you the biggest hug, and we're going to have some chips and salsa. It's going to be awesome. But I'm just sad. I'm sad that we're here. And I'm not just sad that we're isolated and that we have desolate streets. I'm sad for the lives being lost. I'm sad for the doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals that don't get to go home and see their families every night. I'm sad that our society is wondering, where am I going to get the money next for the paycheck, or for the next meal, or for my bills that are due. Now is not the time to imitate. Now is the time to quit faking fine and to be real. You know what's most remarkable? When I woke up to spend time in the Bible and to actually just read and pray and find some peace, and I came across this passage and I wrote it down. I put day 25, quarantine, April 9th. And this is what I saw, the very first words. How deserted lies the city, once so full of people. How like a widow is she, who once was great amongst the nations. She who was queen among the provinces has now become a slave. In all the breadth of the scriptures, there is a book called Lamentations. It's because just as much as we are called to be joyful, there are seasons. Ecclesiastes, read Ecclesiastes chapter 3. To everything under heaven there is a season, and there is an appointed time for us to lament. And I don't want us to be peddling out a false face and a faking of fine in front of everybody that we know, when maybe this is a time for us to actually lament. Where we can sit and go, you know what? Once it wasn't this way, but now it's almost like we've become captive. And I don't know about you, but in this cabin fever, we could feel very captive in our homes. We could feel as though we are slaves to an unknown future. You know, there was also a point in history, specifically the history of God's people, where they found themselves captive in Babylon. Now, the Psalms written in the Bible are all different songs that were written that they used to sing over and over again. And one of my favorite Psalms talks about that captivity in Babylon. And it says, by the willows, by the poplars, we hung up our lyres. Meaning that by these trees, they hung up their instruments. And why did they do that? Because their captors demanded of them songs, and specifically songs of Zion. But they replied, how can we sing the song of Zion when we are in a foreign land? And I've just got to wonder, how can we continue to imitate and hold up this pretty packaged image of what our society has been when it is completely something different right now? How can we sing the songs of 2019, 2018, 2017 when we're sitting here and we're like, yeah, we're able to do anything that we want, in the middle of 2020 when we are very much so in a different season? How can we sing the songs of Zion in this foreign land? I'm not saying that we shut down the song, but maybe our song needs to turn from Zion to a song of hope, a song of deliverance, a song of freedom, a cry that maybe we haven't sang in a while. And I'm talking to all of us, specifically the global church right now. Collectively, if you call yourself a Christ follower, quit telling everybody it's okay when it's not okay. Quit singing the songs of, we're fine, everything's fine, to maybe start letting the anthem rise of, I will trust when I don't know what comes around the corner. I will hold fast to hope. Maybe have songs like those be the ones that surface in this unknown time. Now is the time to imitate the one and only one Jesus that can offer us hope, that can offer us a future, that knows and holds those things in his very hand. So this week, I know it felt a little bit different, probably a little bit more preachy, and I don't apologize for that. I really felt like this was something that I had to get out and encourage you with. And I do hope that you find that in the full breadth of that word, encouragement. I hope that you find yourself full of courage to face the days ahead of us, regardless what comes, regardless what doesn't come. And I hope that you find yourself free to be simply you in whatever feeling, emotion, worry, concern, prayer, hope, desire that you hold today. I love you guys. I cannot wait until next week. But until then, you get to see me one more time. Join me tomorrow, Facebook Live, in our private Facebook group created just for these coffee dates. We're going to keep on talking about this. I want to know how did you take today's discussion? What are some points that maybe you think that we could expand on? Come ready. I'll see you there tomorrow morning. Bye, everybody.